Hey everyone, today we're going to show you how to edit YouTube videos for free using Hitfilm Express. This is a beginner's tutorial, so check it out. Hey everyone, it's Ken here from Northern Viking Everyday, and if you are new to this channel, it is all about reviews and how-tos, so make sure you click that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. Today we're going to show you how to edit YouTube videos, or videos for any platform for that matter, or personal use or teaching, using a free piece of software called Hitfilm Express. Now this is a beginner's tutorial, so we're not going to show you things like color grading or composite shots. We're going to do a beginner's tutorial. So if you're just starting out with Hitfilm, this is the perfect video for you. Now, if you don't have Hitfilm yet, you can download it from fxhome.com. I'll put a link below in the description. Once you come to their website, just go ahead and click on download Hitfilm Express. And once you've done that, now the way Hitfilm works is they give you a great piece of software for free. But you can do add-ons onto it. I haven't actually purchased any of these. I created a couple hundred videos for my 2 YouTube channels using Hitfilm Express, but there's so much in the basic version. But if you want to add on to these, you can do that as well. But to get the free version, just slide the face here over to the left to the $0. Then go ahead and click download here. And once you do that, it's going to give you the option to download for Windows or Mac. And make sure you read through this because there is a serial number here if you do need it as well. So once you've got that downloaded, we're going to go through a whole bunch of different segments for you, and all of them are timestamped down in the description below. So we're going to go through how to insert videos. We'll show you how to cut and trim them, slow motion and speeding them up, as well as basic transformations, so zooming in or rotating your video, transitions, adding music, adjusting the volumes, and exporting your video. So that's what we're going to be going through today. So let's jump on over to my desktop and get right into it. All right, so once you've got Hitfilm loaded up on your computer, it's going to look something like this. And we're going to want to open a new project. So in the top left-hand corner, you are going to see an option that says New. If you have an existing project that you're working on, you could go ahead and click Open, but we're going to go ahead and click New today. And once you do that, a new project settings window is going to pop up right in the middle. And we need to set some settings for our project. So we want to set the resolution and the frame rate right here in template. You can go ahead and select that. So if you're making Instagram videos or 720p videos, 1080p, which is what we're doing today, all the way up to 4K, you can select what resolution and frame rate works well for you. So we're going to select 1080p, 30 frames per second. Now, the other thing we want to select is the duration. So I like to make the duration of our project longer than the project we're actually working on. So today we're going to be making a 1.5 minute video. I'm going to leave that on 5 minutes. That's the default here. But if you're making a 10-minute video, maybe set that to 15 minutes so you have enough time to work on your project. Now you can change this later if you need to, but it's easier to set it up right at the beginning. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and hit OK. And it's going to start loading up that project for you and making a new project. Now, I do want to say, as you're watching this video, everything that you're seeing today has been edited in Hitfilm Express as well. So everything you're watching is done in Hitfilm. All right, so once you've loaded up your new project, it's going to look something like this. Now, if it doesn't look like this, what you want to do is change what the window looks like, or the workspace. So if you click on window at the very top there, there's an option right at the top that says workspace, and I'm using the workspace that says editing. So you could go ahead and click on editing, and it's going to load it up and it'll look just like mine here. So let's give you a quick overview of what is on this screen. Let's start in the top left-hand corner. This is your media area, and when you load your video clips or audio, it all goes in that area. You've got controls. So there's a few different tabs here. There's media, and then there's controls here. This is once you have clips in there where you can adjust the size, the rotation, different things like that. And we'll get into all that in just a little bit. Right here in the middle, this big open space. And in just a little bit, you'll see this is all full of stuff. So it's not going to look blank like this for very long. You've got the trimmer as well as the audio mixer. Over here on the right at the top, you've got your viewer. So when you're watching your video as you're editing it, it'll show up right up here. You've got layer and export in the tabs up there. moving down, this main area is your editor or your kind of timeline where you've got a video timeline and an audio timeline. Now, you can have multiple video timelines in here and multiple audio timelines. So if you want talking and background music, you'd have multiple audio timelines, and the same with video. So if you wanted to create more video timelines, you just right click, or you could do the same with audio, just right click and insert track, and you can see it says video 2. And maybe we'll do the same with the audio, insert track, and you've got audio 2. Now, think of this as layers. So if you've got a picture and you want to add text on top of it, your text would go in video 2, so it's over top of your picture or your video. So anything that is higher up, so video 2 would be stacked on top of video 1. So that is your editor window. Now there are some tools here that are really small. The main ones we're going to be going through and using today would be the arrow right here, which is your selection tool. And the shortcut for that is V. We're going to use that shortcut quite a bit. And the third one down is your slice tool. And this cuts your clips. And the shortcut for that is C. And those are the main ones we're going to be using today. And then over here on the left-hand side, you've got effects. So in this area, you're going to find all sorts of different stuff. This is where if you are going to do color correction or different things, like you'd find that in here. There's audio and video transitions in here as well. So we're going to be using video transitions today. There's also history here in this tab and text. And we're not going to use history, but we will add a title to our video as well. So that's kind of a main overview of the whole Hitfilm Express user interface. Now the first thing we want to make sure we do is save our project. So up here at the top, under File, you can go ahead and hit Save As. And from here, you can just go ahead and save your project. Let's do test video 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't really matter what it's called, but that's what our project's going to be called today. And just hit Save, and that is saved. That you can see the file name in the top right-hand corner. And I have this set to autosave every 2 minutes. So if you want to set that to autosave, you can just hit File, Options, and there's an option here that says autosave, and every 2 minutes my file will save. You can adjust that right there. So other than that, you can just hit Control S to save it, or File, Save right here. So make sure you do save your file. From there, let's go into adding our video clips, pictures, and audio, all our media into our project. So what we're going to do is in this area at the top left-hand corner, make sure you do have media selected. And there's a couple different ways to do this. One way would be to just click on Import. That's going to bring up a window here where you can search your desktop or your computer for your clips. These happen to be the clips that I do want to add to my project. So I'm just going to select this one here. I'm going to leave the first one there of my face for a moment. I'll show you how to import that with the second method. And I'm just going to hold down Shift and use my arrows on my keyboard to highlight all of the clips that I want to move into Hitfilm Express. So once I've got those all selected, I'm just going to go ahead and click Open, and you can see they're all importing right into Hitfilm Express. So once those are in there, that would be the first method to do. The second method would be to just open up the folder, and here's that picture of that video of myself. I'm just going to drag and drop that in there. I find that to be the easier way to import my media. So once you've got all your clips or media in there, and you can add more of them as you're going along. If you find more pictures or different things you want to add halfway through your project, it's no problem to add them later. We're going to move into showing you how to move these clips into your timeline. So I'm going to just actually put on my headset here so I can hear what's going on in the video. And once I've got that on, what we want to do is start moving our clips into the timeline. Now there's a couple different ways to do this. I am going to show you the first way, which is the trimmer way. So up here, you're going to see audio mixer and there's trimmer. I don't typically do it this way, but I'll show you how to do it this way. Some people really enjoy doing this. So select whichever file you do want to insert. So for myself, let's go with this main GoPro file. Now this is a hyperlapse video I filmed, so it's a high-speed walk around the park. That's going to be the main portion of our video. It's actually going to be the second clip we use in the video, but I'm going to put it in first. So let's go ahead and click on that so it's in your trimmer window here, and we can just go ahead and click play. So you can see that it's moving through that. Now we want to select where we want this video to start. So maybe we'll want it close to the beginning, right about here. And there's a couple different options here. You can see there is a one that's a square with an arrow to the right, and it says set in point. So if I click on that, it's going to add the in point. And if I hit play, or I can even zoom or scroll all the way to the end, maybe I just want to take off the last couple seconds here. And I'm going to hit this other square with the out arrow, and that's going to take off the end of it. So now I've trimmed off the beginning and the end of this video clip, and now we want to insert it into our timeline below. So if there's talking, you could start it right before you're talking and end it right after you're talking, wherever you want to in that clip. So from there, we just want to hit, there's these two envelopes here on the kind of right-hand side of that window. And this one on the left-hand side says insert clip, or B is the shortcut. So I'm going to go ahead, you could click there. I'm just going to hit B on my keyboard, and that's going to drop that down into my video area down here below. So that whole clip with the front and the end chopped off is down here at the bottom. So that's the first method of inserting clips. I don't really like that method, and I'm going to show you why here in a moment. When I will insert this clip of myself, the second way to insert them is to actually drag them down and just drop them in here. So you can see you take the video and drop it in the video one, and you can see it inserts it in there. Now, this is why I don't like using the other method. And if you want to zoom in, there's a slider right here, so you can do that, just so you can find it. This is why I don't like that. So if I zoom in here, when you have it in here and you cut your video in here, you can see where you start talking. So because of all the audio levels here of when I'm talking. So if I hit play here,
hey everyone, today we're going to be filming our nature.
You can see exactly where I start talking, and I can't see that very easily up top. So I know that if I want to just get my talking portion, I can just go right to before where I start talking and cut it right here. So in order to cut this, we showed you that cut tool here. It's the third one down on the left, or slice tool. You can go ahead and click on that or hit C. And once you've done that, just move this bar to wherever you want to cut it. And we're just going to go ahead and hover over that bar, and it turns red. And you can just left click on your mouse, and it's going to cut or slice your video clip right there. So once you've done that, you can go ahead and select the arrow there, or I like to hit V on the keyboard, and I can just highlight the clip that I want to delete. So if I wanted to delete this clip, I highlight that. Or if I want to delete this clip, I highlight that. And then I can just go hit delete on my keyboard. And now when I start this from the very beginning, it's going to start right where I start talking. Now, if I want to play this, you can see the video in the top right-hand corner here has a play button here. I'm going to actually turn this back to audio mixer so it doesn't mix you up which video or which screen we're looking at. If I hit play here, or I can hit the space bar on my keyboard. I find that easier to play and pause, but you can hit that play button. So if I hit the space bar,
hey everyone, today we're going to be filming our nature walk in this beautiful park, so check it out.
And now I can hit pause after I stop talking. I can hit C again to cut, or hit the razor tool. And once I do that, oh, there we go, the razor tool, make sure that's orange, and just slice it there. Hit V to go back to the arrow or the select tool, highlight that, and just hit delete. So you can easily remove the beginning or the end of your videos. So that would be exactly how you do that. Now, that's one way to edit and cut and trim. So let's go ahead and move our clips together. So we've got our hyperlapse and our introduction. Now, one thing I do want to say, let me zoom in here again. There is something called snapping, and what snapping does is when I move this clip over, you can see as I get close to the edge here, it's going to turn red with a line, so I know that I'm not overlapping the clips. So that's called snapping, where it automatically butts it together with the other one. Now, if that's not happening for you, down at the very bottom, it's really small, right next to the audio there, you're going to see what looks like a horseshoe. And if that's off, all of a sudden I do this and they can overlap. So you want to make sure that your snapping is on. So go ahead and select that and then you can slide that up and it'll just butt right against it with the red line, and you can release it. So now I've got my two clips together. So that would be how you move them together. Now I want to take this big clip and I want to start inserting maybe a couple more clips within that clip. So we're going to actually slice this clip up to add more clips within it. So I've got a few clips here. I've got a picture of flowers, and as well I've got a picture of the tree. So let's watch through this and find a good spot to put the flowers in. Maybe actually where we started there was actually pretty nice. Oh. Let's go right about there. There's some flowers. So again, if we wanted to cut our clip here, just hit C, hover over the clip, and when it's red, just left click on your mouse and it's going to cut that clip. V to go back to your pointer tool or just selection tool, just hit there, and you can move your clips apart and add another clip in between there. So I have this picture of a flower. I'm just going to drop it right in there. Or this is actually a video of a flower. And when I do that, it's going to move right to that next clip. And so I've got that clip. I don't actually want it to be quite that long. So again, I'm going to quickly trim off the beginning and the end. So bear with me while I do that. All right, so now I've got this flower clip here, and that is exactly what I want. Now, I don't really want the background noise in this clip because there's cars driving by, different things like that. So I'm going to show you a couple different ways to turn down the background noise. The one would be to just select the audio here and lower this white bar right down to the bottom. That's probably the easier way to do it. Or you could delete the audio portion. Now, these two clips are tied together. So when I move them, it moves the video and the audio together, as you can see. But what we want to do is unlink them. So because there's a chain there, it means the two clips are linked together. So if I right click on it, I could hit unlink. And as I do this, watch that chain disappears. And now I could just go ahead and select the audio clip and just hit delete on my keyboard, and that is gone. So that would be how you would easily delete those. So that's basically how you would cut and trim your clips as you're putting them into your editor timeline. So it's quite easy to do. Now I do want to show you how to do slow motion and speeding up of your clips. So I'm going to just grab that same clip and put it right over here at the end. And in order to do a slow motion or speeding up of your clip, if you wanted to slow something down, I'm going to turn down the volume here so we don't have to listen to it. It's quite easy to do. So you've got your clip here, and we're just going to right click on it. Let me just move this over a little bit. We're just going to right click on it. And what we want to do is there's an option here that says speed and duration. So if I click on that, it's going to allow you to adjust the speed and duration of that video clip. So right now it's at 100%, which is the speed it was recorded at. And you can see it's 8.14 seconds. So we're going to go ahead and change that to 500% and see what happens. When you change it to 500%, it's basically fast forwarding that clip, and it's going to shrink it right down. So let's go ahead and click that. It made it really small. And when I go ahead and play over it, it just makes it really fast. Now, if I wanted to slow-mo it, I'd right-click on it again and do a speed and duration, and I could go ahead and make that 50%. It makes the clip 17 seconds long, and these flowers are not going to be swaying nearly as much in the wind, so it's going to be quite smooth. Now, that being said, you do need to keep your frame rates in mind. If you are slowing something down that doesn't have very many frames, it might look jumpy when you've exported it. So you might want to play with that a little bit to see what works well with the frame rates that you've recorded in. So speeding up or slowing down your clips, that is exactly how you would do it, and it's really easy to do. So I'm just going to delete that one. I'm not going to actually use it in my video, but again, it's really easy to do. All right, so let me go ahead and finish editing this video, and then we'll move into transformations, and we'll do some transitions and text. So hold on one second. All right, so I've got all my video clips together here, and we're going to move into basic transformations or controls of the video. So what I want to show you how to do is how to maybe adjust the size or zoom in a little bit on one of these videos. If you have to rotate one straight, you can do that as well. So let's go ahead and just actually pick this one that's actually a picture here at the end. So we'll show you once it's a picture. The process is exactly the same for a video as well. Once you've got the clip selected there, over on the left hand side at the top where it says media, we're going to want to click on controls up here, and you're going to see an option here that says transform. And when I click on transform, it's going to give you a few different options. So again, make sure that clip that you want to adjust is selected. And if we want to adjust the scale, zoom in or out, you can see it says 100% right now. You can just slide this to the left or the right. Now, this one was zoomed in quite a bit because it was a picture, so the resolution was quite high. So we're going to zoom that out. Now, a couple other things you can do here. You can adjust the rotation, so you can turn that. If you want to move something sideways, maybe you took the picture crooked or the video crooked, you could fix that. Now, one thing I do want to say is if you're zoomed out quite a bit, you can see, so if I have the straighten the, or turn the picture like that and zoom in, I have to zoom in quite a bit for the whole picture to actually fit in the video screen. So we want to make sure that we're adjusting it and then zooming in if we are rotating it so it looks good and the whole screen is covered. The other thing you can do is adjust the position right here as well, so you can move your photos or videos back and forth to the left or right, as well as up and down. So maybe that's exactly how I want that to look. I can just do that right there. Now, if I wanted to do the same thing with these other flowers here as well, just highlight them and move my gray bar here to over them so I can see it in the screen. And maybe I just wanted to zoom it in a little bit so it's a little bit closer. You could type it in here as well. So let's go ahead and type in 105% and watch what happens. It's just going to zoom in slightly to that video. So you can adjust things exactly like that as well. And that's quite easy to adjust basic transformations in your video clips and your pictures. So it's quite easy to do. Now, the next thing we want to do is add transitions. Now, this is where it gets fun. And if you're not sure what transitions are, they are maybe different blends or things that go across the screen between your video clips. So for example, what happens is you put that on between your clip and maybe the whole screen goes out to the side or something like that. And to find your effect or your transitions, they're under the effects tab here on the left. You can scroll down near the bottom. You're going to see an option that says transitions video. And if you click on that, there's a whole bunch in here that are free. So there's dissolve transitions, which kind of blends the two pictures together. And under that, there's additive dissolve, cross dissolve, dither dissolve. I do like the cross dissolve one. I use that quite a bit. Under motion, it pushes the clip aside or slide or split. There's wipe, so clock wipe, linear wipe. There's zooms, and then there's crossfades and iris. So the way you insert these, and I'll let you play around with it more, but zoom in on your video, and you're going to want to grab one of these and drag it and drop it right where the two clips meet. So let's go ahead and we'll do a cross dissolve right here at the middle. So just grab that and drag it across, and you can see if you hover over where the two video clips meet, you can just drop that on there, and it added that in there. Now, if you do want to make the transition longer, you can just hover over it or to the side of it, and it makes your cursor kind of go squiggly, and you can actually drag it out or shrink it. So that's how you would do that. And let me add some more. I'll add them to all of them. So this one's the push. We'll do the slide. And in the final product, you can see what this is going to look like when we're all done. That's the split. We'll do a clock wipe. I'll just do them all different here. Linear wipe. And let me finish these up, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, so I've got all my transitions in there, and they're all different ones, so you can see what the different ones look like. I didn't get them all in there, but you'll be able to see most of them when you watch the video a little bit later. All right, so the next thing we want to do is add some text to our video. So let's add an introduction title to our text, and you can actually add transitions to your text as well. So they slide onto the screen or they dissolve out of the screen. So we'll do that as well here in a moment. So as I mentioned earlier, the video 1 and video 2 are layers. So if we want our text to go on top of our talking picture here at the beginning, we want to put our text in video 2 so it shows up in video 1. If you were to have the text in video 1 and your video in video 2, you wouldn't see your text because it would be behind your video clip. So I hope that makes sense for you. So in order to add text here at the beginning, at the top right hand corner, you are going to see an arrow, another arrow, there's a hand, but there's also an A here, and this is your text button. So if I go ahead and select that, it's going to allow me to create a text box here. So once I've got that selected, you go into your video clip here, make sure this gray bar is where you roughly want it to start, and we're just going to go ahead and drag that out. And you can see it created a text box right where I wanted that to start. Now we can move that around and stretch it out here in just a bit, but we can go ahead and start typing what we want our title of our video to be. And we're just going to call this one, maybe I'll do it all caps, Walk in the Park. Whatever you want to call it, just for the sake of this video, that's what we're going to call it. So once you've got that in there, we're going to go ahead and select or highlight our text. And now we can change how that text looks. So once that's highlighted, go ahead and down near the effects tab here at the bottom left, you're going to see another tab that says text. And if we click on that, in here you can start manipulating the text. So changing the font, the color, as well as the if you want it centered or left aligned, different things like that. So why don't we go ahead and change the font here. It's on Arial right now. Let's go ahead and change it to Berlin Sans, but again, you can go through these. So you can see it changed the font there as soon as I did that. And let's go ahead and change the size as well. So when that's highlighted, right now it's at a 48 font. Let's go ahead and change that to maybe 80. Let's see what happens. It made it a fair bit bigger. And let's change the color. Let's change it to yellow so it matches the flower. So in this box here where it's white, you can just go ahead and select that. And you could change it to whatever color you like. So blue, red, you could pick them in there, but we'll just select this yellow one and hit OK. And now you can see that the text changed to yellow. So in order to actually move that text around, there's an arrow up here as well, or you could hit the V button, but we're going to hit the arrow. It's going to actually brighten that up, and we can actually move the text to wherever we want it. I'll leave it actually in the top left-hand corner. But now you've got your text in there and the way you want it to look. But now we want to just move it around and make sure it comes in and out exactly where we want it to. So I'm going to just grab this bar here in the middle and lower it down. So this text can be moved around wherever we want it to. So I actually want it to come in right at the beginning of the video, and I want it to go out right as this first clip ends. So it's really easy to do that. We could actually, you could click on this rate stretch tool right here at the bottom. It's kind of two arrows with a squiggle, and we can just drag that out, and that's going to drag it right out to the end of our clip all the way. The other way, you could actually, if I hover over the end of my clip here, I could actually, because this clip isn't a video clip, we could actually just drag it in and out here, and it would do the exact same thing as well. So that's how you would do that. Now let's go ahead and add some transitions to that as well. So again, back to the effects tab, maybe we want this to slide in at the beginning, and we want it to cross dissolve out. So these are under our transitions. So we're just going to drag and drop those in there. And now when I play the beginning, you're going to see that text come sliding in.
Hey everyone, today we're going to be filming our nature walk in this beautiful park, so check it out.
Now it disappears as the clip ends. So that's exactly how you would add text. It's really easy to do, and you can add your transitions and make it look all fancy. So we've got our text done. Now to move on to adding music, which is lots of fun and makes your video look really cool or sound really cool. So again, I'm going to zoom out so we can see the whole video here. And again, you can slide this back and forth if you want to go through your whole clip if it's longer than what you see on the screen. And we want to add our music to audio 2. So we've got our talking in audio 1. We want to add our music to audio 2 so we can adjust the volume of them separately. So in order to add our music, now if you're looking for good music for free that you're allowed to use on YouTube, if you go to your Creator Studio or YouTube Studio, and they have an audio library in here where you can download royalty-free music and use that in all your YouTube videos. So that's a great place to find free music, and that's where I found this piece of music here under our media that I've already uploaded on the beach. So I'm going to drag this on the beach file into our audio too and just drop it in there. And you can see it's actually a really good length. You can see the noise profile here. It's really good length audio for our video clip. So we've got that in there, but when I play it, it's going to be really loud. So let's go ahead and just hit play at the beginning, and you can hear that.
Hey everyone, today we're going to be filming our nature walk in this beautiful park.
So we can actually really hear ourselves talking. So make sure you have audio mixer up here, and this will be how you adjust the volumes in your music. So again, we just showed you how to add music or audio, and the way I added that audio clip, you can actually add if you're doing voiceovers for your video, just do the exact same thing as you did to add music. All right, so to adjust the volume here, there's a couple different ways. Now we're gonna just be looking at this audio 2 here, the second one, and the easiest way to do it is to just, there's a little black dot, audio level, and I like to bring background music down to probably about -24. So now when I play it.
Hey everyone, today we're going to be filming our nature walk in this beautiful park, so check it out.
So it's just nice and quiet in the background. So that's the way I like to do it. You can play around with the levels as you like. If I'm finding my talking too loud or too quiet, I can just adjust audio 1 because that's where my talking is in the editor timeline below. So one thing I did notice is that our audio clip here, our music, runs past the end of our video clip. So we are going to want to trim off the end of that audio clip, and that's really easy to do. So again, we can just hit C for our slice tool. And because our snap is on, we can go roughly to the end of our video clip and just go down to our audio clip. And you can see that red line does appear because of the snap tool. And we can just go ahead and left click on our mouse. And that's going to cut that. We can just hit V to have our selection tool brought up and select that end of that clip and just hit delete on our mouse. And it's that easy to trim off the end of an audio clip. So that's how you would add your music and adjust your volumes. And now that we've done that, we just need to move on to our final step, which is exporting our video, which is quite easy to do as well. So we've got our whole video here, and once we've exported it, I'll show this whole video to you so you can see how it turned out. So one last thing, you do want to make sure that at the beginning your project setup, if you selected 5 minutes as we talked about at the beginning, that your video is not 6 minutes long. So in order to just, of course we only have a less than a minute long video here, but if you did go over that time, we're just going to want to hit File, Project Settings, and you can adjust the length of your video right here. So once we've got this all done, we just want to go ahead and click up here on there's these lines right next to where it says Export in your Editor tab. And when you click on that, there's a few different options here. I like to use the one that says Add to Queue. And then I select this one that says Contents. And when I do that, it's going to pop our whole project up into the export window up in the top right. So you can see it popped up there in the top right hand corner. You can see I have some other projects that finished editing or finished exporting. And this is one other place you might want to make a change. If you do want to here, you can click this drop down and adjust the output format again. I like to leave this on 1080p HD for YouTube. And there's a button here at the top right hand corner that says Start Exporting. And when you do that, it's going to start exporting. Now I do want to just mention, if you did want to change the output location for your video, so it shows you the output here, you would just go to File, Options, and it is under Export right here. And you can change your export location of your file, but do that before you hit the export button there. So once you've got that all set up, just go ahead and hit Start Exporting. It's going to start exporting, and usually this takes, for a project this size, probably 2 or 3 minutes for a project on my computer. Now if you're using a slower computer, it might take a little bit longer, or if you have a faster computer, it might be a little bit quicker. So for me, it's already at 10% done. So once this is done, we'll jump right into showing you this video so you can see how it turned out and check out all those transitions.
Hey everyone, today we're going to be filming our nature walk in this beautiful park, so check it out.
So I hope this video was able to give you value in learning how to video edit for YouTube using Hitfilm Express. If it did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Also, if you're interested in learning about what equipment I use, all that's listed below in the description. And hey, make sure to connect with me on social media and subscribe on YouTube. Those links are all down there as well. Thanks so much for watching today, and until next time, take care.